Hi, my name's Holly and I'm a Pilates instructor at Auburn Grove Physiotherapy. Today I've organised a program for you that you can do at home. You don't need any equipment. If you have a ThyroBand, that would be great for one of the exercises, but it's not essential for you to do the whole program. We're going to start with some standing, so just something to warm up the spine and articulate it, which is really great if you're doing this class in the morning or if you've been sitting for a long time. And then from there we'll get onto the mat and do some exercises. I'll try to add some modifications when necessary, so if you have an injury or if something's not quite feeling right, then you have the option to either modify the exercise or to skip that exercise and wait for the next one. Okay, so we're going to get started. So I'm going to get Elle to stand just with her feet hip width apart. Good. And rolling the shoulders back, drawing the belly button in, and just making sure that your feet are parallel. So having a look down at your feet, bring your toes a little closer together. That's it. So Elle's just going to start by inhaling through the nose and then exhaling out through the mouth. And you're trying to breathe out as much as you possibly can to help activate those deep abdominals. So inhaling and exhaling. The next inhale, Elle's going to bring the arms up above her head and just releasing the shoulders down. I'm just going to get you to nod your head and you're going to roll one vertebra at a time. So try to curl around my fingers. That's it. There you go. And she's going to roll all the way down and just allow the head to release. And you can keep your knees a little bit soft here. So just staying there for a breath in, and then on a breath out, just completely releasing the head, letting those arms dangle out of the socket. And let's just take one more breath, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. From there, Elle's going to curl the pelvis underneath her, draw the abdominals in, and slowly roll the spine up one vertebra at a time until she comes to standing and the head is stacked. Let's do that again. So inhaling the arms up by the side of your body and exhaling, nodding the head, curling around through the upper back first. That's it, and slowly rolling all the way down. If that feels quite tight through the back of the legs, make sure those knees are soft. Let the arms dangle, let your head completely hang so that you can release through the spine as well. And then on your next breath, you're going to scoop the lower abdominals in, curl the pelvis underneath you, and slowly rolling up until you're standing. Great, you can release the arms down. Great. Okay, let's come back down onto the mat. And we're just going to go through two skills before we move on to some of the other exercises. So I'll get you just to lie down on your back. Good. And arms down by the side of the body. So the first thing we want to do is just have the lower back touching the mat. So you're going to scoop the abdominals and slightly curl the pelvis under. From there, Elle's going to pick up one leg into a tabletop position, so making sure the thighs on top of the hips, and then the other leg is going to come up and join. And you really want to be holding that from the abdominals there. From there, with an inhale, Elle's going to lower one leg down to tap the toe and exhale and draw it up again. And from there, alternating legs. Other leg goes and exhaling it up. So as you're doing this, making sure that the lower back stays touching the mat, the abdominals are drawing in and holding onto those legs. If you feel the lower back working, you can actually start with both legs down. So we're just going to quickly jump into the modified version where one leg is going to pick up and the other leg is going to lower down. So that's your modified version if the other one didn't feel too good. Great, so from there, let's go back into that first version. Good, we're going to go right leg down and exhaling it up. Good, and then the other leg and exhale. And let's just do that one more time for each side. Good, making sure it's the thigh moving away from the body. Good job. And then we can bring both feet down. The second skill we're going to talk about is your upper body curl. So I'm going to get you to stack the hands and place them behind your head. And from there, we just want to narrow the elbows just a little bit so they're in line with your eyelashes. I want you to soften the lower ribs down and keeping your head really heavy in your hands, inhaling to prepare. You're going to exhale to lift the head and the shoulders up into what we call your upper body curl. We're reaching the elbows up to the ceiling and just completely releasing the head back into the hands. So you want to be really careful here that you're not pulling and yanking the neck. The fold needs to come from the bra line for women or for the torso for the men. Good, and then just releasing back down. So combining those two things now, let's bring one knee back into your chest. Good, and then the other one. Great, and we'll just bring them all the way in, and hands are going to go back behind the head. Great. So combining those two things, you're going to inhale to prepare. On your exhale, lifting the head and the shoulders up into your upper body curl. Let's have your heels together, toes slightly apart, and knees are going to be armpit width apart, pulling those knees in as much as you can to start with, and making sure that that lower back is touching the mat. So Elle's going to maintain her upper body curl. From there, we're going to inhale the legs out. So here we're keeping that abdominal scoop, and you're exhaling to draw those legs in. Good. So breathing in to take them out, and exhaling back. Good job. So if you start to feel those shakes, that's a good thing. Now for Elle's taking them out about 3/4 of the way. If that's feeling fine, you can take them all the way out to straight. And at the same time, if that's feeling too challenging, you only want to take them out a couple of centimetres. Basically, you're only going to take the legs where you can support the legs from those abdominals. Good. And Elle's doing a really beautiful job of keeping that upper body curl. So every exhale, we're lifting the chest to meet the knees and drawing those knees into the chest. Good job. Let's just do last two. We inhale it out and exhale, breathing in and exhaling out. Good. And Elle's going to have a little break. Great. So we're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to have the knees together. So we'll keep the knees in the chest, all the way in, and flexing the feet. Good. From there, Elle's going to inhale to prepare and exhale, lifting up. Good. Reaching those elbows and lifting the chest up to the knees. And then we go into the same thing. We inhale the legs out and we exhale the legs back in. So this time we have a different leg position and different foot position, really working those toes back. Good. And our aim is to do 10 of each position. Again, noticing as the legs move out that the lower back stays touching the mat. We don't want to pull the pelvis with the leg movement. Good job. And I'm really bad at counting, so let's just do 3 more. And exhale. Good. And we go for 2. Well done. And last one. This time we're going to go straight into the next set. So we're keeping the knees together, curling the toes over, that's it, and flexing at the ankle. So it's kind of like a claw. Yeah, there you go. That's it. And we do the same thing. So we're inhaling the legs out, exhaling them back in. Great. And as those legs are moving, every time the legs come in, we're lifting that chest a little bit more. You want to imagine if there's really sharp fingernails underneath that upper body, that you don't want to fall back onto them. Good. That's it, trying to maintain that arch pulling in and reaching the toes around. Good job. As the legs move out, we want to make sure that the abdominals don't pop. We keep scooping the belly button into the spine. Beautiful. And we're just going to do last 3. Reaching it out and exhaling through the mouth. And we go last 2. And your last one. Good job. And releasing down. You can give those legs a hug in, pulling them in, and a little rock from side to side. The next thing we're going to go into is the 100. So this is a fundamental Pilates exercise. We're going to do the full version, but also have a modified version if you would like to take that option. We're going to start with both legs up to the ceiling. And we want them as straight as possible. If you can't get them straight because your hamstrings are a bit tight, it's fine to have the knees bent. So for Elle, we're going to go legs straight. Arms are going to be long down by the side of the body. Elle's going to inhale to prepare, and on the exhale, curling the head and shoulders up into the upper body curl. Elle's reaching those fingertips long. They're going to help lift the upper body. If that's feeling okay, we can start to take the legs a little further away. For today, we're going to just keep them up to the ceiling. You're going to start pumping the arms by the side of the body. Now they're quite angry pumps, so you want to have them quite strong. With your 100, you're breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. You're going to keep going. We're just going to go into another option. So if that's feeling too much for you, you can have the knees bent. Another option would be to have the feet flat on the floor. Good. Still maintaining that upper body curl and still pumping your arms. If this is really challenging to keep your upper body curl, another thing you could do would be to hold the back of the legs, so to hold onto your hamstrings, elbows wide, and you would just breathe your 100. So you'd still be inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Good. Great. Let's again just bring both legs up to the ceiling, and we'll just do 2 more breaths. So arms are still pumping. Good. Again, if you wanted more of a challenge, you could send those legs further away from you. And we're going to do a last inhale and exhale. Good. And releasing those legs in and have a break. Great. Okay. From there, let's place the feet down on the floor, arms down by the side of the body. So again, we want the feet hip width apart, parallel, toes facing, forwards for L, and the knees the same width as the feet. Pressing those arms down, I'm going to get you to start curling your pelvis and rolling, so the head will stay down. That's it, rolling the pelvis and the spine up off the mat. So when you're in that position, just make sure that the feet are underneath the knees, that you're powering down through the feet to lift the hamstrings up away from the floor. And quite often when you do this, it's quite tempting to shove the chest forward as well. So we want to just soften the ribs down so we're not going into spinal extension, but it's really the back of the legs and the glutes that are helping you do this, as well as your arms. Bring those knees a little closer together. So if you were to imagine a pillow in between those knees, you're giving them a little squeeze and also picking yourself up nice and high. Great. From there, I want you to soften the sternum down away from your chin and rolling down through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time, until that pelvis comes back to a neutral position. Good job. So we're going to add on to that. You can stick with that version if that is feeling fine for you. If you want more of a challenge, from here we're going to again inhale to prepare and exhale, rolling back up again. Good, just remembering that pillow, reaching down into the feet to lift up through the back of the leg a little bit more. Beautiful. From there, you're going to keep the balls of the feet on the mat, but I want you to lift both heels up. Good. And lowering down. Well done. So keeping the pelvis high as you inhale, picking the heels up. Good. And exhale down. And I'll just get you to do that 4 more times. As the feet are moving, press your arms down to help you stay nice and high. And you also want to think the back of the neck nice and long. Or keeping the neck long, I should say. Good. And once you've done that last one, sternum softens away from the chin and taking your time to roll the spine down. Good. So far you've got either of those options. We're going to go into the next version. It's your choice whether you would like to continue on and to go to this next level. So from there, pressing the arms down, again you're going to curl the spine and rolling up. Well done. So at the moment, L's thighs are in line with each other. We want to keep that, but you're just going to extend the right lower leg out. Beautiful. From here, let's lower the foot a fraction to lift your hip higher. Well done. And we're going to stay. I'm going to get you to flex and point the foot 5 times. As you do, we want to keep those hips aligned. Good. Making sure that the knees aren't going wide, so imagining that pillow there and giving that pillow a bit of a squeeze. Good. And then we'll make that the last one. Well done. Placing that foot back down. Let's stay nice and high. We're going to transfer to the other side. So reaching the other leg long, lowering the foot a little bit to lift that hip even higher. Good. And we flex and point 5 times. Good. Working through the metatarsals of the feet. Keep working your arms as well to help keep you lifted. Good. And was it one more? Yeah. Great. And we'll place the foot down. Good. And rolling all the way down through the spine again. Okay. Let's just do that last time. So again, you've got any of those 3 options to choose from. So pressing the feet down, maybe just make sure that they're parallel again, reset the body. And from there, inhaling to curl the pelvis and rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Good. And from there, again, we're going to extend that right leg. Great. So it's a little bit more challenging if you lower the foot, and what we're aiming for is to lift that hip higher. Well done. And from there, working through the foot 5 times.